Good afternoon, everyone.
Dobar dan još jednom svima.
Wonderful lunch that we had together.
Lijepo je što smo imali, ili dobar ručak smo imali.
And I saw some of you with your sandwiches eating under the trees around the campus.
Neke sam vidio da jedu sendviče pod drvećem okolo.
And I had a chance to take my camera and take beautiful pictures of these grounds.
Imao sam također priliku snimiti nekoliko lijepih prizora ovdje.
I also ate a few ripe raspberries over there. I hope no one minds that I took some raspberries.
Nadam se da mi neće nitko zamjeriti da sam ukrao tamo nekoliko ovih malina.
The red berries, yeah.
Yes,
so
malina.
anyway, delicious.
I didn't.
All right. Okay. We've come to the last hour together that I will be speaking.
Došli smo do zadnjeg predavanja kojeg ću imati ja.
And I have two topics that I'm trying to decide which one to give.
Zapravo se dvoumim oko teme. Jednu ili drugu bih trebao izabrati.
And so I think I will give a taste of one and then we will go to the other one.
I zato mislim da ću vam samo dati predokus jedne, a onda ćemo se baviti drugom.
I wanted to point out to you that some of you have asked, is there any material where I can read this and study more deeply about this?
Neki od vas su kazali, postoje li materijali koji bi se mogli proučavati, produbljivati
And
vaši?
yes, there are.
Postoje.
In fact, I have put here on the board my website at Andrews University.
Ovdje sam vam dao stranicu na univerzitetu.
And almost all of these presentations you will find an article dealing with these on the website.
Na njoj ćete naći skoro sve od ovoga što smo govorili ovdje. Članak koji govori o tome.
And so you can download these and print them off and you will have them yourself.
Možete to sve skinuti, štampati si i imat ćete ih.
The first one is the website. The second one is my email address.
Drugo na spisku je moja adresa.
So if you have any specific questions after you have read some of these material, I'll be happy to continue to communicate dialogue with you.
I ako budete imali pitanje nakon što ovo skinete i proučite, ja ću biti veseo što mogu s vama i dalje komunicirati.
If you write in Croatian, I have several Croatian friends at Andrews who can help me translate.
Ako mi čak i na hrvatskom napišete, imam nekoliko prijatelja Hrvata koji su tamo, koji će mi prevesti stvar.
Okay, and then the third one is a website for the Adventist Theological Society.
Treće je zapravo stranica Adventističkog teološkog društva.
And if you go there to that website under archives, the section of archives.
Ako dođete tamo, kliknete na arhiv.
You will find some other articles that others have written about this topic that I have found very helpful.
Naći ćete članke potpisane od drugih profesora koji su, odnose se na ovo što smo govorili.
Finally, the name of the man my student who wrote the master's thesis on Tahagija is Karl Kozart.
Ovo zadnje je ime čovjeka, mojeg studenta, koji je napravio magistarski rad na Tahagija.
And I give the full reference to him on my website. I have an article about Hebrews there, and you can find the full bibliography for Karl Kozart there in the footnotes.
I ondje ćete moći naći punu bibliografiju onoga što je on koristio kad je napisao svoje.
A study that I've just finished that I'm really excited about is about the Trinity in the Old Testament.
Proučavanje koje sam upravo dovršio nedavno i radi kojeg sam vrlo oduševljen je o trojstvu.
In particular, the relationship between the Father and the Son before sin.
A posebice se to odnosi na odnos između Oca i Sina prije pada u grijeh.
And again, you can find this entire article on the website, so I'm only going to give just a brief version here so that you can have a taste of the points that I think are exciting.
I budući da se tamo na ovoj stranici na internetu može pronaći čitav članak, ja ću vam sada dati nekoliko podataka koji mene oduševljavaju i da imate dakle taj predukus.
One of the most important passages about Christ in the Old Testament is in Proverbs chapter 8.
Jedna od najznačajnijih izjava, odnosno ulomaka koji govore o Kristu, nalazi se u izrekama.
And Ellen White quotes Proverbs 8 on the very first page of Patriarchs and Prophets.
To je 8. poglavlje. Ellen White u Patrijarcima i prorocima citira ovdje tekst na prvoj stranici.
And she applies this passage to Jesus.
I ona primjenjuje taj ulomak na Isusa.
In his role of, in his experience in the universe before sin.
A odnosi se na njegovo iskustvo sa svemirom prije grijeha.
And Proverbs 8 was the favorite passage about Christology in the 4th century, these debates over Christology.
Tijekom raspravlja o kristologiji u 4. stoljeću, ovaj je ulomak zapravo bio jedan od najomiljenijih.
There were the Arians, the followers of Arius.
Oni koji su slijedili Arijanci,
who used this passage to argue that Jesus did not always exist.
Koristili su izreke 8 da bi pokazali, da bi tvrdili da postoji vrijeme kad Krist nije postojao.
Especially verses 24 and 25.
Posebice se to odnosi na 24. i 25. redak.
This is Christ speaking under the metaphor of wisdom.
Ovdje se govori o Kristu slikom mudrosti.
And he says, when there were no depths, I was born, I was brought forth.
I piše ovdje, rodih se kad još nije bilo pradubina.
And verse 25 again, before the mountains were settled, before the hills, I was brought forth, I was born.
I opet 25. redak, rodih se prije nego su utemeljene gore.
And Arius said, see, this text teaches that Jesus was born.
I Arije je kazao, pogledajte, ovi tekstovi potvrđuju da se Isus rodio, da je bio rođen.
Not talking about his birth in Bethlehem, but way back in the beginning of creation.
Ali ovdje se ne radi o Betlehemu, nego nekom vremenu daleko unatrag prije stvaranja.
Arius argued that Jesus was not fully God in the same sense as the Father.
I zato je Arije tvrdio da i Krist nije u istom smislu Bog kao Otac.
He was begotten or born by the Father at some point of time back in eternity.
Nego je rođen u jednom trenutku u dalekoj prošlosti.
Some of our early pioneers were semi-Arians.
Neki od naših pionira bili su polu-Arijanci.
And they believed that there was a time when Jesus did not exist.
I oni su vjerovali da je bilo vrijeme kad Krist nije postojao.
And this text seems to point in that direction when you look at it on the surface.
I ako gledate ovaj tekst površinski, čini se da i pokazuje u tom smjeru.
But I'd like to point out that if you look at it more closely, you find that it is not referring to Jesus' literal birth.
Ali ako pogledamo malo dublje, ja bih vam želio u tome pomoći, vidjet ćemo da se ne govori ovdje o Isusovom doslovnom rođenju.
It's true, it uses the language of birth.
Točno je, koristi se rječnik.
But in connection with the language of birth, it uses another special term.
Riječi koje zapravo govore o rođenju, ali koristi se i poseban termin.
Verse 23.
U 23. retku.
I have been established from everlasting, from the beginning, before there was ever an earth.
Oblikovana sam još od vječnosti, od iskona, prije nastanka zemlje. Tamo piše, engleska riječ je ovdje bila uspostavljena.
The word for in English established is nasak.
Nasak je riječ koja se ovdje koristi u izvorniku.
And in Hebrew this word nasak literally means to be installed into an office.
A ta riječ nasak zapravo znači biti ustoličen. Označava početak službe.
Or to be anointed for an office. Do you have the word anointed there maybe?
No.
What do you have?
We have formed.
Formed, let's see. Verse 23?
Yes.
I have been established from the beginning. You have the word formed.
Yes.
Okay. All right. But the word in Hebrew is nasak.
Dakle, hebrejska riječ je nasak.
And it technically is a technical word that is used for when a king is installed into an office.
To je stručna riječ koja se odnosi na primjer, kralja koji je ustoličen, koji počinje svoju službu.
It's used one other time in the Hebrew Bible,
I još jedna druga riječ u hebrejskom svetom pismu koristi,
and that is in Psalm 2.
to je u 2. psalmu.
Here we have a description about Jesus as the Messiah.
Ovdje imamo opis i Isusa kao Mesije.
And you remember that God the Father speaks about appointing Christ as king once he is resurrected.
Vi se sjećate ćete se sjetiti da Biblija spominje da Otac daje službu kraljevstvo Sinu nakon uskrsnuća.
And Hebrews 1 actually quotes from these verses and applies them to Jesus at the time of his resurrection and ascension.
Zapravo je prvo poglavlje u poslanici Hebrejima citat iz 2. psalma i odnosi se dakle koristi se za vrijeme kad je Isus bio uskrsnut.
So we read in verse 6,
Čitamo 6. redak.
I have installed my king on my holy hill of Zion.
Ta ja kralja svoga postavih nad Sionom, svojom svetom gorom.
What's the word it has there for?
No, this is established.
Installed or established, yes.
Established.
Okay. It's the same word as nasak, same word as in Proverbs 8.
Dakle, to je ista riječ nasak kao u izrekama 8. Ovdje nam, dakle, piše postavihte.
So it means established, but in the special context of establishing someone in a new office, a new position
Da.
of authority.
Ovdje postaviti znači označava početak funkcije kralja.
What function was Jesus installed into here in Psalm 2?
U 2. psalmu na koju službu se postavlja Isus?
As king, right?
Kao kralj.
Yes. Now notice the next line in verse 7.
Evo, zapazite 7. redak.
The next verse, yes. I will declare the decree, the Lord has said to me, you are my son, today I have begotten you.
Obznanjujem odluku Jahvinu, Gospod mi reče, ti si sin moj, danas te rodih.
The language of birth?
To je rječnik o rođenju.
Applied to the time when the king is installed as king.
Govori se dakle o trenutku kad kralj postaje kraljem.
This is technical language for the installation of a ruler into office.
Zapravo se ovdje radi o stručnom rječniku i odnosi se na ustoličenje kralja.
So you have the word nasak, which means to install into office.
Znači imamo riječ nasak koji znači postaviti u službu.
And the language of birth used metaphorically for being born into this office.
I opis, dakle metaforu rađanja koja označava paralelu ovoga ustoličenja.
No one will ever argue in Psalm 2 that when Jesus became king, he was born that day, literally born.
Nitko ne bi rekao da ovdje u Psalmu 2, da kad je Isus postao kraljem, da se tog istog dana rodio.
It's clear this is not speaking about physical birth, but about his being born into a new office as king.
U istinu ovdje se ne radi o njegovom fizičkom rađanju, nego o postavljanju u funkciju.
Are you clear where we are so far?
Da li pratite? Da li vam je jasno sad?
So now we go back to Proverbs 8 with this, what we've learned in Psalm 2.
Sad se s ovom spoznajom iz Psalma 2 vraćamo u izreke 8.
And here we have the exact same linkage of nasak with the language of birth.
I ovdje također imamo nasak, riječ povezanu sa opisom rađanja.
Verse 23, I have been nasaked, I have been installed from the everlasting.
Da kažemo ovako, nasak sam još od vječnosti.
And then the next verse, the language of birth, I was brought forth.
A u 24. to je bilo 23. redak, 24. rodih se kad još nije bilo i tako dalje.
This is not speaking about physical, literal birth.
Ovdje
of
nije
Jesus.
riječ o fizičkom rođenju Isusovom.
It is speaking about him being installed into a new office.
Nego o vremenu kad je bio ustoličen u svoju funkciju.
But this time it's not the function of being king.
Ali ovdje se ne radi o tome da je postao kraljem.
Rather, this is talking about something in the past, something that happened at the very beginning of creation.
Nego o nečemu što se dogodilo na početku stvaranja.
In fact, it uses the very word, verse 22, the Lord possessed me at the beginning of his way.
I upravo ta riječ se koristi u 22. retku. Jah me stvorio kao počelo svoga dijela.
And verse 23, from the beginning, before there was an ever an earth.
Prije od iskona, prije nastanka zemlje u 23. retku.
This is the same word as in Genesis 1:1. Back to the very beginning of creation.
Ista je riječ upotrebljena ovdje kao u 1. Mojsijevoj 1:1 u početku stvaranja.
So we're stretching our minds as we're going way back to the very beginning of creation.
I mi napinjemo svoj da bismo se nekako premjestili u sam početak stvaranja.
And here is the Father and here is the Son described as wisdom.
I dakle pred sobom gledamo Oca i Sina koji je opisan kao mudrost.
And the Father installs his Son into a special office.
I Otac sada podjeljuje funkciju, službu svome Sinu.
What is that?
Koju to službu?
What is the function that he is to serve?
U kojoj funkciji sad treba on djelovati?
We find it down in verse 30.
To pronalazimo u 30. retku.
Jesus is speaking here and he says, then I was beside him as a master craftsman.
Isus, mudrost, kaže ovdje, bila sam kraj njega kao graditeljica.
Does it describe master craftsman or one brought up, sort of like a nursling?
Craftsman.
Craftsman? Okay. Yes. So here is Jesus as a master craftsman, as a co-worker, a co-creator with the Father.
Ovdje kaže graditeljica, kod njih kaže majstor u gradbeništvu, u graditeljstvu.
But now
suradnik Božji.
Notice what it says about Jesus.
Pogledajte što Isusu kaže.
It says he is, the last line of verse 30, rejoicing always before him, the Father, Yahweh.
Ovdje kaže, bila sam u radosti iz dana u dan. Ovaj prijevod je bio stalno pred Gospodom, pred Jahveom.
And then in the next line it says, rejoicing in his inhabited world.
Radovala sam se u njegovom napučenom svijetu.
Same Hebrew words here, rejoicing, rejoicing.
Na dva mjesta ista hebrejska riječ, radovati se, jednom i drugi put.
He's reaching out and rejoicing with the Father that he's a co-creator with.
Prvi put je radost sa Ocem s kojim je sustvoritelj.
And he's reaching down to his inhabited world, to the sons of men, to his creatures, and he's rejoicing with them.
A s druge strane posizanje do čovjeka kojeg je stvorio, dakle njegovo svog stvorenja.
What do we call this function when someone is a go-between between someone here and someone down here?
Kako vam nazivamo funkciju kad je netko između jednoga ovdje i jednoga ovdje? Mediator.
A mediator, exactly.
Posrednik.
And scholars are recognizing this. Dozens of scholars are recognizing this is describing the language of mediation.
Mnogi stručnjaci, teolozi ovdje vide upravo to, da se radi o posredovanju.
We usually think of a mediator in the Bible as part of solving the sin problem.
Mi često vidimo u Svetom pismu posrednika kao u kontekstu rješenja problema grijeha.
But the word mediator can have a larger context than simply regarding the sin problem.
Ali ta riječ nosi veće značenje, šire značenje nego je samo posredovanje radi grijeha.
A mediator can function even when there is not a sin problem to solve, but when there needs to be communication between two parties.
Posrednik može biti u slučaju komunikacije, ne samo u slučaju grijeha. Komunikacija između dvije strane.
In John chapter 1 and verse 1 it says, in the beginning was the Word.
U Ivanu 1:1 kaže u početku je bila riječ.
What is a word? What is a word?
Što je riječ?
A word is something that comes from my mouth to your ear so that we can understand each other.
Što je to riječ? To je nešto što se pojavljuje na mojim usnama, a ide prema tvome uhu da bismo nas dvojica mogli komunicirati.
It mediates between the two of us so we can communicate.
Zapravo posreduje između nas dvojice da bi postojala komunikacija.
Even before sin, there needed to be a mediator.
Čak i prije grijeha postojala je potreba za posredovanjem.
Because God is infinite.
Jer Bog je neograničen.
And we are finite.
A mi smo ograničeni.
And there needed to be someone to mediate between infinity and finitude.
I morao je postojati netko tko će biti posrednik između neograničenosti i ograničenosti.
And it appears that way back at the beginning of creation, the members of the Godhead gathered together in a council.
I čini se da se dogodilo da je davno u pradavnini da su se osobe trojstva skupile na jedan savjet, na savjetovanje.
Zechariah chapter 6 alludes to this council before creation.
4. poglavlje u Zahariji aludira na to, na taj trenutak.
And Ellen White even elaborates on it more.
A Ellen White nam o tome i malo više govori.
And there was a decision among the members of the Godhead which member of the Godhead would represent the transcendent, almighty power and splendor of the Godhead.
Na tom sastanku se raspravljalo, odnosno došlo je do zaključka o tome koja će od osoba božanstva predstavljati tog transcendentnog Boga.
And which one of them would come down and be close to the creatures that they were about to create.
A koji će od njih spustiti se dolje i biti posrednikom za čovjeka kojeg su trebali još stvoriti.
And it was decided that the one we call the Father would represent the divine glory, the divine transcendence.
Očito je da je onaj kojeg zovemo Ocem počeo predstavljati božanstvo, transcendentno božanstvo.
And that the one we call the second member of the Godhead would come down to be close to his creatures.
A onaj kojeg zovemo drugom osobom božanstva spustio se da bi bio blizu svoga stvorenja.
And here he's called wisdom.
Ovdje ga se naziva mudrošću.
In Revelation 12 we are given his name.
U 12. poglavlju otkrivenja dobivamo njegovo ime.
Michael.
Mihael.
What does Michael mean?
Što znači Mihael?
Who is like God?
Tko je kao Bog?
He was God.
On je bio Bog.
And yet he's called Michael the archangel.
Ali ga ipak Biblija naziva Mihaelom arhanđelom.
The chief angel.
Glavni anđel.
Michael took the form of an angel.
Mihael je preuzeo oblik anđela.
I don't say the nature of an angel. I don't think he took the nature of an angel, but at least the form of an angel.
Ne kažem da je preuzeo prirodu anđela, mislim da nije preuzeo prirodu anđela, nego ovdje kaže oblik.
And all through the Old Testament, when Christ appears to human beings, he's called the angel of the Lord.
Gdje god se u Starom Zavjetu pojavljuje pred ljudima Bog, naziva ga se anđelom Gospodnjim.
He's an angel, but he's God.
On je anđel, ali je Bog.
Because when Moses writes about the angel of the Lord, he says, the angel of the Lord came.
Kad Mojsije piše o Gospodnjem anđelu, on kaže, došao je Gospodnji anđel.
But when the angel speaks, he says, I am the Lord, I am Yahweh.
Ali kad anđel progovara, on kaže, ja sam Jahve.
And you find this, for example, of Genesis 16.
Na primjer u Postanku 16.
Genesis 22.
21.
Genesis 48.
48.
Exodus 23.
U Izlasku 23, mislim.
And so forth.
I tako dalje.
I like to call what happened at the beginning God's Emmanuel principle.
Rado nazivam ono što se dogodilo na početku Božjim načelom Emanuel.
Emmanuel means God with us.
Emanuel znači Bog s nama.
And God, even as he creates, even before sin, he wants to come as close as he can to his creatures.
Čak i prije stvaranja Bog želi biti blizak svom stvorenju.
And so the second member of the Godhead, Jesus, appears in the very form of an angel so that the angels can identify with him.
I tako je, dakle prije stvaranja druga osoba božanstva, Isus, preuzima oblik anđela da bi se anđeli mogli identificirati s njim.
So there can be a intimate personal relationship between God and his creatures.
Da bi Bog mogao imati intimnu povezanost sa svojim stvorenjima.
Here's what I see being described in Proverbs 8.
To ja vidim opisano ovdje u 8. poglavlju Izreka.
Here is the essence of mediation.
To je bit posredovanja.
Christ coming down to be close to us, to bring us to God, to bring us into intimate connection with God.
Krist je došao k nama da bi bio blizu nas i da bi nas povezao u odnos sa Bogom.
Before sin, he did it by taking the form of an angel.
Prije grijeha to je učinio tako što je preuzeo oblik anđela.
After sin, he did it by taking the very nature of human beings.
Ali posle pada u grijeh on je to učinio tako što je preuzeo prirodu palog bića.
And as he ascends to heaven at the ascension, he still retains his humanity.
I nakon što odlazi na nebo prilikom uznesenja, on i dalje zadržava našu prirodu.
He's fully man, but he's fully God.
On je u potpunosti čovjek, ali u isto vrijeme u potpunosti Bog.
And so he's a go-between between the infinite God and finite sinful human beings.
I zato je on posrednik između neograničena Boga i ograničena grešnog čovjeka.
And so he intercedes for us.
I tako on posreduje za nas.
This is the meaning of this is what is referred to in Hebrews chapter 7.
O tome govori zapravo 7. poglavlje Hebrejima.
He ever lives to intercede for us.
Zauvijek živi da posreduje za nas.
He takes our prayers and makes them acceptable before the throne of God into beautiful language and perfumes them with his righteousness.
On preuzima naše molitve i tako ih oblikuje da budu prihvatljive za Boga i on ih zapravo svojom pravednošću parfumira.
When we ask forgiveness for sins, he covers us with his righteousness. He blots out our sins from the record.
Kada tražimo oproštenje za svoje grijehe, on nam svojom pravednošću zapravo briše grijeh.
We have a friend in heavenly court who has gone through what we have gone through and knows what it's like to be human and to have the problems we have.
Na nebu imamo prijatelja koji zna, koji je prošao našim putem i zna što znači biti čovjek i imati teškoće kakve imamo mi.
And this is the intercessory work that Jesus did for 1800 years before 1844.
I to je djelo koje je Isus učinio 18 stoljeća prije nego što je došla godina 1844.
Did this work stop at 1844?
Da li se ta služba završila te godine?
As he started his new work of investigative judgment?
Kad je otpočelo njegovo službovanje u istražnom sudu, tako je.
I've heard some evangelistic preachers say that he was doing one work until 1844 and then he stopped that and he started doing a new work.
Čuo sam neke evanđeliste naše adventističke koji su kazali da on je prestao služiti u toj prvoj funkciji i sad je preuzeo drugu.
No, that's not at all true.
To uopće nije istina.
On the Day of Atonement, the whole burnt offering was still burning there on the altar.
Na dan pomirenja tamo je žrtva za grijeh gorila.
Representing Christ's blood which covers for our sins.
A predstavljala je Kristovu krv koja je pokriće za naše grijehe.
The priest, even on the Day of Atonement, he took the incense into the altar of incense and the incense was coming up all day during the Day of Atonement.
Čak i na dan pomirenja veliki svećenik je prinosio kad i on se uzdizao i to se dogodilo čitav dan tada.
We as sinners need to have our prayers mixed with the incense of Christ's righteousness.
Mi smo grešnici i potrebno je da se potrebno dodavati Kristovu pravednost.
His high priestly intercessory work that he did for 1800 years, he continues to do throughout the Day of Atonement.
Posao velikog svećenika koji on obavljao 18 stoljeća nastavio se i dalje u danu pomirenja.
And we are still saved the same way that we were saved, that everyone has been saved.
I još uvijek se spašavamo onako kako su se spašavali svi u povijesti.
Totally by the righteousness of Christ.
Posve Kristovom pravednošću.
Well, I don't know about you, but when I saw this in Proverbs 8, it was a new picture about Jesus.
Ne znam kako to na vas djeluje, ali kad sam ja otkrio ovo u Izrekama 8, to je za mene otvorilo zapravo novi horizont o Isusu.
Ellen White writes that if the Father had come down, it would have been the same as if Jesus had. Nothing would have been different.
Ellen White kaže da kad bi Otac došao dolje, bilo bi sve isto kao i u ovom slučaju koji se ostvario Isus.
And we could say if the Holy Spirit had come down, it would have been the same.
Možemo reći isto tako da kad bi na Isusovo mjesto došao Sveti Duh, bilo bi jednako.
These are three equal persons of the Godhead.
Oni su tri jednakopravne osobe božanstva.
But as they gathered together, they chose to represent the different aspects of deity.
Ali kad su se skupili na vijećanje, oni su izabrali takve uloge i predstavljanje određenih karakteristika božanstva.
It's a beautiful picture of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit in oneness and in communication and in relationship from eternity.
To je krasna slika božanstva koje je jedinstveno i gdje postoji komunikacija i sudjelovanje čitavu vječnost.
So Jesus, like the Father, like the Holy Spirit, always existed.
I tako je Isus, jednako kao i Otac i Sveti Duh, oduvijek postojao.
There was never a time when the Father was all alone.
Nikada nije bilo takvo vrijeme gdje bi Otac bio sam.
This to me is the most important beauty of the Trinity.
Za mene je to najljepša ljepota trojstva.
Islam, for example, says no, there's only one God.
Islam, na primjer, kaže ima samo jedna osoba, jedan Bog, jedna osoba.
And many Jews will also say this, only one person in the Godhead.
Mnogi Židovi će također reći jedna je osoba u božanstvu.
But then you have a God for eternity gazing at his own navel, as it were, and having no communion with anyone except himself.
Ali u tom slučaju bismo imali Boga, slikovito se to tako kaže na engleskom, koji gleda sam sebe u pupak i zapravo nikoga nema.
A narcissistic God, if you please, narcissism.
To je nekakav narcisoidni Bog.
But the God of the Bible,
samoljubiv.
The God of the Bible is the God of love.
Ali Bog Svetog pisma je Bog ljubavi.
And love communicates and has intimacy among persons.
A ljubav je komunikacija i intimnost između različitih osoba.
And this is the essence of the Trinity, communication among the members of the God.
I to je upravo bit trojstva, od komunikacija između različitih osoba božanstva.
Anyway, that's the idea about Proverbs 8.
Evo, to je ideja u vezi sa izrekama 8. poglavljem.